Hey students, we are going to look at lesson 10.2 today, and it is all about histograms. Yesterday we talked about stem leaf plots, and today we're going to talk about histograms. Again, I want to reemphasize this. I've been saying this in my classes, that all of the things that we are learning, it's kind of like and I'll use this little story. I want you to imagine that there's a bank robbery, and there's some detectives that are assigned to the case to find the bank robbers. And as they go inside the bank, they notice that there's lots of different cameras around the bank. Now, I want you to think about this. If you were the detectives, would you want just one picture of the robbery, or would you want as many pictures as you could possibly get? You'd probably want to get as many pictures as you possibly could get. Now, all of the things that we've talked about in Unit 9, mean, median, mode, range, IQR, mean absolute deviation, all of those things, and all of the things that we're talking about in Unit 10, stem leaf plots, histograms. We're going to talk about other types of distributions of data, things like that. They're all like pictures that we're using as evidence so we can solve the case. And so when we're looking at all of these different pictures of the data, you can't just use one of these methods or these tools that we're using. We want to use multiple tools, and then it gives us a good picture of what we're looking at and looking at our data. So a histogram is just one of those. A stem leaf plot is just one of those. It's like just one picture that lets us see one point of view of our data. So you want to put multiple things together so you can make a good, solid decision about what's going on with your data. So with that, let's continue on our study of histograms. All right, so for our bell work today, we are going to look first of all at this. And let's go over it. It says, use the data from the frequency table to complete the histogram. So, okay, so we are going to be using this data right here to fill in this. And then we're going to answer this question. How many cats are in the shelter? So we're going to make a histogram here. So first of all, in the 1 to 5 category, we've got 3. So I'm going to come right here and go like that. And we want to probably fill that in as much as we can. So there you go. Then we're going to go to the 6 to 10, and it is all the way up to 12. So I'm going to change my color here. Come right here all the way up to 12. I'm doing my very best to be neat here, but sometimes I'm not that neat. So there we go on that one. 11 to 15, we've got a 6, so we're going to go with this color on that one, and I'll go all the way over there. And there is our 6. And the 16 to 21, that's a cat that weighs 16 to 20 pounds. That's a fat cat. And we're going to go right here, and that is my one cat right there. So there's our histogram. So how many total cats are in the shelter? Well, this was 3, this was 12, this was 6, and this was 1. So we need to add those together. So 3 plus 12 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So there are 22 cats in the shelter. Not too bad. Number 3. What is 20% of 45? Now, we haven't even got to percents. This is what we're going to talk about when we come back from our holiday break. But we can use, I can introduce this to you so you can kind of be thinking about it. So what is 20%? So the percent goes here. So we're going to put the 20 here. And is over of, is part of is whole. So we have the of 45. And we have x here. So we're going to use cross multiplication. So that's 100 times x, which is 100x. And then 45 times 20, I'm going to pull out my calculator so I can use that. It's going to be 900, I think. Let me see. 45 times 20 is 900. So we get 900. Now, we want to solve this. So we're going to divide by 100 over here. Because what's the inverse operation of multiply? Divide. So if it's 100 times x, we're going to divide by 100. That gets rid of it and leaves us x. And what we do on one side of the equation, we do on the other. And that gives us 9. So 9 of 45 is 20%. So there you go. So there's that part of the bell work. This right here, I am adding this to your assignment. This is actually going to be your ticket out of classroom today. And so what I want you to do before the end of the day, you can choose when to do this. If you'd like to do it right now, you're going to create a stem leaf plot for this data. And then this will be your ticket out of class today. So take a moment and do this stem leaf plot. And then on your way out the door today, you're going to hand it to Mr. Roberts. And yes, you have to have this to leave. So get that done. Let's move on. Okay, I wanted to just kind of analyze what a histogram is. And so right here, we're looking at a histogram. And let's point out some things. They look a lot like bar graphs, except bar graphs have separations. The histograms don't, because histograms are telling us, you know, we're going from 13 to 14 here, then 15. It's continuity. We are kind of telling a history of what's going on here. So we can easily see that the ages of students and the cells. So some students look like they've sold something. Maybe it was a school card or something. So the ages of students from 13 to 14, they sold, it looks like $250 of whatever they're selling. The ages 15 to 16 sold a little over 400, maybe $425. And then the 17 and 18-year-olds sold a little over $200 also. So we can easily look at a histogram. It's just a way to organize data so it's easily digestible. So we can see it and make some decisions quickly about it. So let's go on with our practice now. All right, so here is your practice, and it wants us to make a tally chart and a bar graph of the data. Okay, so we're going to make a bar graph, and that's different than a histogram. So we're going to make a tally chart. So it looks like the number of video games that a student has. So how many ones do we have? So I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to start off with. And there are 2 ones, so a tally chart there. How many 2s are there? It looks like 4, so let's cross those off so we don't make a mistake with them. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many 3s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So cross off those 3s. There are no 4s in our data set here. And we have 1. So I am going to make a bar graph now. Okay, now that we have that tallied up, we need to make a place for our bar graph. So there we go. And our categories are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the number is over here. It's important to label the things there. And this will also be 1, and it looks like we go from 0 up to 5. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number of 1s, there are 2. So we're going to go up to 2. The number of 2s, there were 4. So we're going to go like this. The number of 3s, there were 5. So all the way up. The number of 4s, none. And then there were 1 5. So we're going to go like that. So you can see in a bar graph that our bars are not connected. There's separation there. We're talking about one thing. Now, a histogram it's talking about like multiple things. It's like 0 to 2. So that's our category, and they go together. So it wants us to display the data in in a histogram, and then we need to have a title. So this is free throws. We actually give you the title on the data, made. And then we want our categories to be down here. So we will have 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 11. And then this is our frequency going this way, and it goes all the way up to 9. So let's count by 2, 4, 6, 8. It goes up to 9. So let's count by threes, I guess. So we're going to go 3, 6, 9. And then that would be 12 all the way up there. So 0 to 2, there's 9. So we're going to go like this. I'm going to change colors for some of these so we can see it a little easier. 3 to 5 is 6. So we're going to go like this. Let's fill them in, I guess. That's better. It's better to fill them in. So we'll fill these in real quick. And then our 6 to 8, we'll do a blue color. And that was 2. So 2 would be, if 3's there, so 2 would be about right there. And our 9 to 12 is 1. And we'll use this color for that. So that's what our histogram looks like. And we want to label both axes. So this is our free throws. And this is the frequency. Okay? So making a histogram is not that difficult. Sometimes students forget to write in the title and the labels, and those are important because what's the whole point of making a histogram? It's to so somebody can easily see your data. And that if you don't do that, then you're going to have problems. So you want to do that. Okay, so this is magazines sold. So I'm going to put magazines sold. That's our title. And then let's just label it right now. So our frequency is still going to be over here. So I'm just going to go FREQ, frequency, and this is magazines. Okay, and then it looks like we are dealing with 0 to 5, 6 to 11, 12 to 17, 18 to 23, and we want to probably, let's count by threes again. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 0 to 5 would be 3. So here we go on this one. There's my 3. 6 to 12 is 9. So we're going to go all the way up to there. My 12 to 17 is 8. So a little less than the 9. About right there maybe. And then my 18 to 23 is 2. So we're going to come all the way over here and make it like that. And there you go. So there is how to make a histogram. Now, being able to interpret one is a different skill. So let's take a look at this histogram here and answer some questions about it. The histogram shows the number of laps completed by the swimmers on a team during practice. Which interval contains the most data? Well, if we're looking for the most, right here, this is the interval, and this is how many times it happens. So 20. In the 10 to 14 interval is what our answer would be. So we have 10 to 14. How many swimmers are on the team? Okay, so we want to add up all of the top parts. So 10 plus 12, which is 22, plus 20, which is 42, 43, 44, 45. So we've got 45 swimmers. All right, on C, it says what percent of the swimmers swam more than 14 laps? Well, we have this group right here. So there's 3 out of the 45 that swam more. Well, how do I change that into a percent? I'm just going to use my calculator and go 3 divided by 45, and I get this, 0.06666, and it keeps on repeating. Well, all I have to do from here is move this decimal over 2 places, and I got my percent. So it is 6.6%. So there you go. 6.6% of the students swam more than 14 laps. So not very many. All right, let's look at your assignment now. Okay, so on your assignment, it looks like we're doing kind of the same skills. Number one, we're going to create a frequency table, or I'm sorry, a histogram using this table for goals scored, for height jumped, and for money spent. And then you're going to answer some questions about this histogram. So if you did the practice, this is very, very similar to that, and you should be have no problem at all if you did the practice. So give that a shot. Again, if you have problems, please ask your teacher. We are here to help. Also, don't forget to put your answers into GoFormative. All right, guys, good luck, and we'll talk to you. It'll be next week before I talk to you again. So good luck.